Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today on our lesson we have a paper, an exercise book paper, and today we are going to learn how to make straight lines. And this has proven to be the best method for me to learn how to make straight lines. And so I want us to learn together, add to our knowledge on sewing. So if you are new here, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, share and like, and let's get started. So when you want to learn to make lines, you may need an exercise book paper. There are so many methods, but I prefer this one because it's more practical. You don't have to make the lines because the lines are already made for you. It's easier. And exercise book are easily available anywhere in the bookshop, at the shops. So what you do is you place the needle between inside that line on your exercise paper, on that line, and then through that method now you try to sew. Ensure you don't have any thread under the bobbin or on the needle. Ensure it's just the needle, no thread. So you just learn how to poke those lines, to poke that paper, poke it, ensuring you're making straight lines like the ones I have. You see how it's not time consuming. All you need is your exercise book and your sewing machine, and you're good to go. You just sew and sew and sew. With more practice, with more what can I call it? When you are more practical, with more practice, hey Jesus, with more practice you become better, because sewing is all about practice. You may be talented, but if you don't practice those lines, they don't come automatically. You need to practice them. So you take your book, your exercise paper, and then you sew and sew and sew and sew. You see how I'm making straight lines because I have a guide. That line is very straight, but if I assume I make mine, it may not be straight, or it's just too, a lot of time is being consumed. So I find this method very helpful. It has helped me, and I know it will help you. So if you're a self-made tailor, this is the best method for you, because this you can do it at home, unless you are being taught by a teacher out there, and a teacher, they'd insist on their method. But this is a very good one to do at home for homework. You see, like I remember I had to buy like almost 4 exercise books, 32 pages, in order to get this concept of these straight lines, and I'm glad I did, because I learned. And now I'm able to make straight lines. The good thing about us today, we are not only going to learn how to make straight lines. If it is your first time, it's allowed you make not very straight lines. But with more practice, you get there. Like I've said, it's all about practice, and more practicing. So apart from making straight lines, we are also going to learn how to make another kind of line, and this kind of line is called curved lines. And how do we go about curved lines? So you take your pen like this. You can take a fountain pen, a pencil, or a biro, and then you create a spiral. Now that spiral, you create it. As you can see, it's curved. Yes, and that is how you learn to create curves, because as we all know, especially if you're going to make ladies wear, you know that we have curves of everywhere. So you need to learn how to also sew on those curves. So these curves, you have to make them as many as possible. Like make sure before you start this curved line, make sure you have learned the straight lines, because it gets easier. So when you are learning, you put your paper on your machine, on your sewing machine, and then you place your hand like the way I've placed mine on this paper. Not only on the paper, but also on the fabric. When you are sewing, curved lines or curved, let's say corset, let's say the hip, the waist. This is how you be, especially the corset. This is how you should be holding your fabric. Yes, it may look easy, but it's not as easy as it looks. Especially if you're a first timer, it's not as easy as it looks. It takes a lot of practice, and more practicing and more practicing, you get there. So yeah, here I'm just sewing and sewing and sewing and sewing. Yeah, and more sewing. So let's sew. Another method of doing straight lines, you can use this scale here. All sewing machine has those scales, so they are always on a straight line. So you just need to place your material, like let's say on the third line, like that, and then you ensure when you're sewing, you ensure the cloth, yes, the fabric remains straight on that line. But this you'll need to have learned first to make straight lines, so that when you are also using this scale, it is easier. Yes, it is easier. So thank you so much, guys, for sitting on today's lesson. I hope you have learned something. Kindly please share, like, and subscribe to my channel, and have a good day. Bye.